So guys, in today's presentation, I'm going to teach you guys how to go from $10,000 to $100,000 a month as an online fitness coach. So buckle up because I'm going to give you guys everything that I possibly have. By the end of this masterclass, you will learn the best and most effective ways we've used to scale 20 coaches over $100,000 a month. So I'm not going to hold back any secrets. I'm going to give you guys the most effective things that we're currently doing in order to scale. There's no other business coach on the planet for personal trainers that is producing these results consistently across the board for our clients. I'm extremely confident in that because I know some of the other coaching programs that are out there. So I'm going to show you guys what we're doing to get results like this. And you'll have all the secrets and all the sauce. So before we start, I'll ask you guys to put your phone on Do Not Disturb, get off social media, close all your tabs, tell your friends and family that you're locked in for the next 60 minutes, because in the next 60 minutes, I'm going to over deliver and I'm going to make sure that you have a full understanding of exactly what it's going to take to scale to 100K a month. If I have your commitment on that, just say I commit in the chat box. All I got to say is I commit. That's all you got to say is I commit. If I have your commitment on that, just say I commit in the chat box. We stuck it out through technology. We got it. Perfect. Cool. So I know why you're here. You're making $10,000 a month in your business and you're stuck. You're working 10 to 12 hour days to get ahead in your business, but you're not moving forward. You've hit some record breaking months, but for some reason you haven't been able to find a repeatable, formatable success in order to scale. There's so many projects that you don't know what you need to focus on in your online coaching business because you're doing everything all at once. And as a result, you end up working more on your business, but not moving a lot of the income needle moving projects forward. And your income has not grown. If that feels like you, just say me in the chat box. We end up running on this hamster wheel, trying to do absolutely everything ourselves. And even though we're doing a lot of stuff, it doesn't really feel like the stuff that we're doing is actually moving the needle forward. If that feels like you, just say me. You want to scale this business, but you don't want to do it at the expense of your mental health, your family life, and your own well-being. Everybody wants to make more money, but we never want to do it by sacrificing our own family. It's not fun. And I get that because I was you, right? I became a millionaire and then shit broke, right? When, the pandemic happened, Cole and I basically came out with a killer offer for the CLA and everybody started taking action on it. And as soon as it grew faster than we knew how to handle it. And it led to a lot of money, but a lot of burnout and a lot of frustration, a lot of plateaus. And we ended up staying stuck at the same place for about a year. In the last 7 years of building this company and helping 10,000 online personal trainers grow their companies, I've learned what works and what doesn't. And I've been able to teach what works and what doesn't to our students. We've learned from what didn't work and what did work at a rapid rate because we had more data to pull from. We were basically making a ton of fucking mistakes. And as we kept making these mistakes, we were learning faster. Now we've done over 30 million in sales ourselves. This is what I'm most proud of. We have 20 students over $100,000 a month. 20. That's not an accident. If it was one, it was an accident. When Don Lamb came along and he hit $100,000, I was like, that was cool. That was an accident. Then Janelle came along. That was cool. That was kind of an accident. Then Trent, then Patty, then Caitlin, then Chloe, then Riley, then Kiara. It just keeps fucking happening. All right. And I'm going to tell you guys how it happens today. Now, make sure you guys stick around. I'll be giving you guys an opportunity to get a free assessment of your business based on your current bottleneck to identify the constraint is so that we can help you scale to the next level. This is our normal. So these are just some of our clients that have hit 100,000. This is our client, Abraham. As you can see last year, year to date versus this year. So he was 3 months in, he hit 308K. Last year, it was 97,000 in the first 3 months. This was our client, Hallie, just hit 100,000. Client Chloe hit 100,000. Client Vinny hit 100,000. It was on his vision board. And he made it come to life. Most of my clients never thought this was possible to hit $100,000 a month. But I want you to ask yourself the question, have you ever thought about what your life would look like if you actually made $100,000 a month? Have you ever actually considered that? What would my life look like if I made $100,000 a month? And I know what you might be thinking, but okay, that makes sense. But how much of that is take home? Because that's the biggest thing we get when we talk about clients making 100K. Okay, cool. But how much of that is take home? Our goal with our clients is to have 60 to 70% profit margin on 100,000, which means you're going to be taking home $60,000 to $70,000 per month. So if you were taking home $60,000 to $70,000 per month, how much would your life change? Type it in the chat box. I'm curious. Have you guys ever considered the fact that it is possible for you to hit 100,000, 50,000, 70,000? Has any one of you guys considered this? Because I don't believe you'd be on this call if you did not believe on some level you were capable of doing it. I don't believe we do things just because it's cool. I think that there's some people on this coaching call that actually believe that they could do it. Have you ever considered it? I wouldn't be living in a shoebox. Exactly. Evie King, I like that mindset. It will happen. Harlan, I like that mindset. Mr. Fox, I like that mindset. There we go. There's 22 of you guys here. We've got 6 people participating. It looks like the other 16 are sleeping. Where's my other 16? Where's my other 16? We're sleeping at the wheel, making so much money that you couldn't even spend it, even if you tried. Taking care of your family, your community, and yourself on the biggest level possible. And most importantly, having systems in the business that do not require you to be there 24/7 in order for your business to make more money. This is Trent Harrison, who made so much money, he had to buy an investment property. I want to share fucking Chizzle Man because he's a G. All right.
My name is Trent Harrison, also known as Trizzleman Fitness on social media, and I joined PT Domination 4 years ago, and I was making $800 per month. This month alone, I made $139,000 USD. And not only is that a record month for me, but because of the systems I've been able to build inside of PT Domination, my clients have been getting incredible results. And I've also been able to create healthy profit for myself and for my business that has not only changed my life and the way that I live, such as having my dream car, my dream house, but also has changed my family's life. I have a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and 1-year-old. I have 3 kids. And so not only am I able to run a 7-figure business, but I'm also able to be a present father, which is priceless to me. So if you're on the fence about jumping in, you need to take action now because you're only hurting yourself by not doing it.
Trizzleman Fitness. Fucking love Trent. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to teach you how. Secret number 1 is the freedom formula. This is how we're going to get out of the rat race and start building our business. Right now, you're stuck doing everything. Content, sales, lead gen, coaching, and it's keeping you stuck. And you've been led to believe if I just work harder, I'll make more money, right? Which is the case. There's no way you get to $10,000 to $20,000 a month without working hard, $30,000 a month without working hard. But the truth is you're stuck in what's called the hustle loop, okay? This is what I call the hustle loop. The hustle loop is every time you grow, you get busier. How many of you guys feel that? Every time your business grows, you just get busier. This is called the hustle loop, right? We're like hustling to build. And then because we build, we get busier. And because we're busier, we're fucking in the background running shit. And then we try to build again, but then we just get busier and busier and busier. This is called the hustle loop, all right? Now the solution is what's called the freedom formula, okay? So the freedom formula is this. Here's what I want you guys to do, okay? So let's take how much money your business makes per month. So let's say it's like $30,000, okay? $30,000 a month. Then you take how many hours you work in a month. Let's say it's 40 hours a week, multiplied by 4 weeks. So 160 hours in a month, okay? Then that's $187.5 per hour. So if you were making $20,000 a month, that's about $120 an hour. And if you're making $10,000 a month, that's about $80 an hour, okay? Now, the freedom formula states that any activity that you do that can be outsourced for less than $187 an hour is a great move. And here's the best part. Most of you are doing activities that are $4 an hour activities. So if you're making $10,000 a month, technically speaking, if you do the math on that and how many hours you actually work, you're actually working probably 160 hours. So you're making at $10,000 a month, you're making about $70 to $80 an hour. So if you can find somebody to do $4 an hour tasks for you and you train them to be effective at those tasks, all of a sudden you remove that constraint and now you're no longer busier because you're doing more work because you've got somebody else doing the work for you. And if you have somebody else doing the work for you, you have more free time for yourself. And you have more free time for yourself. Guess what you can do? Make more money. And so the $4 an hour tasks like the failed payments, sending clients emails about the program terms, sending messages, booking calls, all of these are $4 an hour tasks, all of them. And so this is the fucking key point, okay? Your business will never build to 100K if you, as the CEO, are doing $4 an hour tasks. It'll never happen. It'll literally never happen. It's impossible. I tried it, doing everything myself. So here's the exercise, okay? I want you to identify all of the things that you are currently doing in your business. So like, here's the actual practical exercise that you guys can take away and actually take action on right after this training. Write down every single thing that you do in your coaching business from start to finish. I'm talking about checking clients' failed payments, sending client messages, checking trainerized workouts, responding to check-ins. Write down all of them, okay? Every single task. And then I want you to categorize it based on 4 different things. Category number 1 is stuff that you love to do and you're really good at. Category number 2 is stuff that you're kind of good at and you kind of like to do. Category number 3 is stuff that you'd rather not do. And category number 4 is stuff that you'd rather jump off a bridge than do. And then what we do is we outsource from the bottom up. We spend the money to hire the people to do the things for us so that we can focus more time on generating income for the business. That is the freedom formula, okay? Organize that list into 4 categories. I like that I thought ahead of this presentation. And even though I didn't know it was in the presentation next, that's just how my brain works. That's hilarious. Stuff you love to do and you're really good at. Stuff that you're good at doing and like doing, stuff that you'd rather not do, and stuff that you'd rather jump over a bridge than do, but they're needed for the business. Then we're going to start hiring and outsourcing the stuff at the bottom of the list all the way to the top of the list. Correct me if I'm wrong, but most of you guys absolutely hate doing DMs. Am I right in saying that? If I'm right in saying that, just say yes. It's usually the biggest thing that people hate doing. Like the DMs are like the fucking worst, right? So that's usually the first hire that we make is to get somebody else to do the DMs for us because let's be honest, DMs are necessary, but they're not fucking fun. Nobody likes living in their DMs. So that's one of the first hires that we make is we outsource the DMs so that we no longer have to do them ourselves. Cool. Your goal as the business owner is to work on the business, not in the business. In order to get to this level, you needed to work in the business. You needed to do your own sales calls. You needed to do your own content. You needed to do your own DMs. You needed to do your own client fulfillment. You needed to do your own check-ins. So all of that stuff that got you to this level, we have to learn how to train other people to do the work for us so that we don't have to do it as much. And we can just focus on leading our team. And we can just focus on growing the business. And we can focus on income generating activities that are actually going to move the business forward. And that is the freedom formula. Now, specifically speaking, we recommend that you start by outsourcing what we call as minimum wage tasks on the front end and minimum wage tasks on the back end. Example, right? When a client misses their workout, it's a really good idea to shoot them a message. But do you need to be the one to shoot them a message? Absolutely not. You could hire somebody else to do that back end work for you, to check in client compliance and making sure that they're actually following their shit. A monkey could do that, right? You could just log in, send a message, bam. Now, that's one of those things that it is really, really good for your business to have, but you don't need to be doing it yourself because it doesn't require a lot of skill to check and see if somebody hit a workout and then to shoot them a message. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, just say makes sense in the chat box. Example, sending 100 DMs per day to new followers and people that are engaging on your content. That is an activity that is very valuable to do, right? It's very useful, but you don't need to be doing that because let's say, Max, you spend 5 hours a day sending DMs to people. And out of those 5 hours a day, if you had that 5 hours a day to just work on content and just post social proof and just do marketing, how much more effective do you think you'd be able to be at your marketing, right? So the goal, once you hit $10,000 a month, the goal is to work on your business, not in your business. Now, I know that some of my clients are here that are under 10K a month, and I see you, right? I see you. I know that you want to grow to this level. The goal is to get to 10K plus per month and then start implementing this stuff. If that makes sense, just say makes sense in the chat box. Perfect. This is Lauren and Dylan. They did everything we talked about in the freedom formula. All right.
And Lauren here.
Yes, so we did start in the CLA, but then after not very many months, less than 6 months, we were already making 35,
45, 35.
around that. So then we decided we were ready to make the investment into the mastermind, and now we are making 80K.
Oh yeah, it is so worth it. Best decision either of us have ever made for sure. We went from living in a shithole in Dallas, Texas to living here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, right on the beach in that amount of time.
Guys, this is regular in the $1 Million Mastermind. This is like regular shit. It's fucking insane. It blows my mind. Every single day I log in, I'm like, this is crazy. Okay, now, how do we make this work? That all sounds handy dandy, Mr. Brian Mark, but how does the business model actually work? If you guys are excited to see the business model, say me in the chat box. Who wants to see behind the scenes? You want to pull back the layer of the curtains and actually see like, okay, what does this business model actually look like on the back end? And how do people make this shit work so that they can actually scale and buy their time back? How do they do this? If you want to see what it looks like, say me. Fuck yeah, Mr. Fox. I like it. Cool. Now, if you want to grow your business to $100,000 a month, but you have no idea what that looks like, you're scared of investing thousands of dollars into employees that suck donkey balls, don't worry. I got you. I want to teach you exactly what your business model will look like as you scale. Cool. All right. This is you at $30,000 a month. $30,000 a month. You have a coach that handles 50 to 100 clients. This coach is paid about $4K a month. They handle all of your check-ins for you. You've got a community manager that manages all of your posts inside of the community and does all the engagement. They're paid $1,000 a month, and their only job is to keep the group alive. You've got a VA that handles all of your DMs for you. They're paid $650 base pay and 2% commission on all new cash sales that get generated, which basically means you don't have to do DMs yourself. All you have to do is train your VA. So your responsibility then becomes training the coach, training the community manager, and training the VA. This is you at 30K a month with 75% profit and 3 employees. This is what this looks like. Now, I'm going to be transparent. This is the hardest fucking level to get to. Why do you guys think this is the hardest level to get to? Let's hear some guesses in the chat box. See a bunch of you guys engaging, and I fucking love it. Why do you guys think this is the hardest level to get to? We've got 3 employees that are doing all the work for you. Yeah. What else? Yes, exactly. Keep going. Jeremy Stafford says you got to train him. Letting go of control with your clients in a way. Yep. Because you've got to learn how to delegate and learn how to train. Yep. Training others, coaching clients and new hires, and time investment of training. Ding, 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 ding. Exactly. It's the time investment. It's not only the time investment. It's like, where do I find these people? How much do I pay these people? What does the job description look like? What does the training process look like? How do I know if they're good or not? Right. And then it's actually bringing them into your company and not just like giving them a job description, but being able to train them on exactly how you want that job description done. Being able to know exactly what to do in those meetings so that they actually are effective. And not only that, it's like also when you guys are training somebody for the first time, this will be your first ever employee. So like you've never had an employee before. And it's funny because we go through this fucking weird ass phase when we're entrepreneurs where all of us Correct me if I'm wrong, but all of us get into entrepreneurship to get away from the man. Am I right or wrong in saying that? All of us get into entrepreneurship so that we can be our own boss, so we can run the show, so we can be the captain of the ship. Am I right or wrong in saying that? And then all of a sudden, you get to a certain level in your business where you're like, oh, wait, I got to be the man now. That's me. I got to be that guy now. And this is the level you have to climb to. So you have to learn how to hire. You have to learn how to train. You have to learn how to delegate. You have to learn how to outsource. You have to learn how to trust. And that's why it's so difficult for a lot of coaches to transition through this phase, because this phase involves a lot of new skills, right? Like Dana Foster, the skills that got you to $10,000 a month are not going to be the same skills that get you to 30. You have to learn an entirely new set of skills: leadership, team, delegation, hiring, firing, like holding the standard, being able to have hard conversations with team members, learning how to get people up to your level. It's challenging. This is why this is the hardest level to climb to. But 30K a month is 75% profit. That basically means when you're making $30,000 a month, you're taking home 22.5K. That's pretty rad, right? And not only that, you have a ton of free time because you don't have to do all of the check-ins yourself. You don't have to do all the client messages yourself. You don't have to book your own calls. This is a fun level. Okay. This is the hardest one to transition through, but this is a fun level because when you actually start buying your time back, I'm sure a lot of you guys are working 8 to 10 hours a day, every day. And if I'm right in saying that, say yes in the chat box. A lot of you guys that are making 10 to 20K a month are working 8 to 10 hours a day. When you get to this level and all of a sudden you've got people that are working for you, working on the business, your workload, you can go to 6 to 8 hours a day easily. I've got a lot of clients that are doing 5, 6 hour days. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have to, like, it's not like you have to work less, but a lot of clients choose to work less because they're like, holy shit, I've got so much free time. I literally don't even know what to do with myself. That's a fun place to be. This is by far the hardest level, for sure. Once you transition through this level, everything else gets easier. But this is the hardest level. It involves a lot of frustration. It involves a lot of conversations with me on Convos with B, talking to you guys about like learning how to lead people for the first time. This is the hard one, okay? But once you learn how to get through this level, everything else gets a little bit easier because you have an understanding of how you did it the first time. You have to learn how to train, how to lead, how to integrate people into your business while also running your business. Let's not forget that. Because while you're hiring, training, leading, and integrating, you also have to run your fucking business. You got 40 clients that are paying you money. They want their service. You still got to book sales calls, right? So you got all these things that you're doing, plus you're training these people. This is why this phase is hard. And I'm going to be transparent and upfront about it. Some people will lie to your face. I'm going to tell you the truth. It's fucking hard, right? However, on the other side of this transformation, now you've got a business that's making $30,000 a month where you're taking home 75% profits. This is a fucking fun time, okay? Now, to solve this problem, you guys have got 3 hires. Again, if you want to screenshot this, go ahead. A virtual assistant to help you generate leads, a coach to help you with fulfillment on your client roster, and a community manager to make sure your community stays popping. Seems simple in execution. Here's why most people fail. Because the skills that got you to $10,000 to $20,000 a month are not the skills that you need to ascend to 30K. You can't just post content, send DMs, and sell clients. It doesn't work like that. In order to go from $10,000 to $30,000 a month, you must learn a completely new set of skills. You have to learn how to hire people, where to find people, how to train people, how to do a job description, how to make sure people actually do their job. And that, my friends, is a completely new set of skills. If this makes sense, just say makes sense in the chat box. Now, I'm going to counter my own argument because oftentimes I get people that are like, well, I'm not ready to hire a team. Okay, then don't. You don't have to hire a team, but like you have to be okay with the fact that you're going to be working 10 to 12 hours a day if you want to grow your business. You don't have to hire a team. Okay. You don't have to. But if you do not learn how to hire a team at $10,000 to $20,000 a month, you have to be okay with working longer hours because there's nobody else that's going to do the work for you. Right. And that's the thing when you become an entrepreneur. If the work doesn't get done, you don't get the result, period, full stop. And so if the work isn't being done by you, that means it doesn't get done, which means you have to work more in order to get it done. And as your client load increases, your workload also increases. And I know that because I've seen that cycle over and over again. This is the funnest phase of business because once you learn how to move through this phase of business, bro, everything gets easier. Once you're at 30K a month and you got fucking 3 employees that are doing their job properly, you got more time to think, got more time to plan, got more time to execute. So it's overwhelming for most people. So they one of 2 things. Number one, they trial by fire. You're like, well, Brian says hire people, so I'm just going to hire people. Because you have no idea what you're doing, you end up burning through potential leads with a shitty VA, or you burn through your clients with a shitty coach, or you waste money hiring the wrong person. They trial by fire. Look, Brian said so, I'm going to go do it. Or they never hire. And this is where most people get stuck because they're afraid. So they end up staying in the hustle loop forever, basically doomed to have a business that does 10 to 20K a month forever because you don't understand the importance of bringing on a valuable team member and doing a great job training them. This is a very valuable skill that a lot of you guys need to start embracing and embodying. Now, I know there's a big fear, but what if I pass off some of my clients to these coaches and they don't do a great job? I agree. That's a big fucking fear. I understand that philosophy, which is why we track our numbers religiously. So when you're in the $1 Million Mastermind, it's like everything is tracked. We track your retention. And if your retention rate is under 91%, we have a problem. We fix it. And like Here's a big thing that a lot of people need to understand. I want you guys to write this in the chat box. People stay in your community because of two things. Number one, results. Number two, connection. Write that in the chat. People stay for two things, results and connection. Now, connection does not mean connection to you. Connection means connection to the brand. That's what connection means. Your clients must have a connection to the brand. And so when you pull back yourself from doing all the work, you need to make sure that the person that you are training is very fucking good at keeping your clients connected to the brand. Out of curiosity, and this is just me being honest, how many of you are my clients, but you get value from other coaches inside of my program? If so, say me. That's connection to the brand, right? So you guys have a connection not only to me, obviously, because I created the program and one of the CEOs, but you have a connection to the brand. And that's what we must create inside of our coaching containers is a connection to the brand. And if you can do that effectively by training your people properly, you will be able to scale without you having to do all the work. Cool. If you want to keep being an employee of your business, do these two things: trial by fire or don't hire anyone. For those of you who want to be owners of your business, then continue to listen because I'm going to teach you how to not only scale to $30,000 a month, but then to 50K and then 100K. Okay. So this is you at $50,000 a month. You are the head honcho, calling the shots, big boss. You are the head honcho. Okay. Then you've got a coach. You've also got an assistant coach. You've got a community manager. You've got a head VA and a VA, and you've got a call closer. Now, when you guys are scaling, I would say on average, like we teach coaches, like we have to think about, when we think about how many clients a coach can handle, we have to think about how many clients can you handle. Okay. So that's the same lens that I want you to view it through. Now, out of curiosity, where do you guys feel like you're capped at clients? Is it 20, 30, 40, 50? What is it? Where's your cap? 60, 70? Where do you guys feel like you're like, okay, this is like too much work. I'm fucking tapped out. I'm exhausted. 40 to 50, exactly. 50 to 60, 50, exactly. 40 clients personally. So when we think about cap for shadow coaches, it's around that, but they don't have the same responsibilities that we do of like taking calls, posting content, blah, blah, blah. So for that reason, it's usually in the 40 to 70 range. Okay. So for every 40 to 70 clients, you'll have one coach that helps you out with those people. And this business is still a business that has 65% profit margins, which basically means out of 50K, 65% divided by 2, 32.5K is take home. And you've got a lot of the people that are doing a lot of the work for you. So if you get a message at 7 p.m., you are not the one responding to it. Your coach is, right? We also at this point need to have 2 VAs because at this point, not only is your organic content going off, but we're also teaching you how to run effective DM ads and follow me ads. So people are coming in consistently from your advertising. And because people are coming in consistently from your advertising, we need to have somebody that's always in your DMs to basically be able to book phone calls with you. And you do not have to be involved. The best part is about once you guys are at this level at $50,000 a month, because you did a good job training your coach and your head VA, the next person that you bring on, your coach or your head VA, is the one that does most of the training. And you just pay that coach or that VA $500, whatever, $1,000 to do all the training for you. And then you can run them through their final role play or whatever it is. But at this level, it's easier to scale because you've got people that you've already trained to do the job effectively. And those people can train the next people. Does that make sense? Say makes sense in the chat box if you get it. Now, ideally at this level, you guys also should have a phone closer. This is something that we talk about very openly inside of the $1 Million Mastermind because I don't know about you guys, but I can take 10 sales calls a day. I don't like taking 10 sales calls a day, so I don't. I've got somebody else do that for me. So at this level, you've got a call closer that's working based off of commission only. So they only get paid when deals get closed, which means that it doesn't cost your business a single cent, which is great. Cool. This level is significantly easier than the previous level because now your head VA and your head coach can train your new hires. That's the best part. Is once you do a good job the first time, then the second time you don't have to work as hard because you already did the work the first time, and the first person can pass down the lessons that they learned to the next person. This is an easier level. This is by far the funnest level in my opinion. Why? Because you get your people to train your people. Because you did a great job at finding, hiring, and training and integrating the right person into your business the first time, your business is able to scale easier because when you get the first hire, the first person trains the next person. Now the workload decreases and your ability to scale increases. At this level, you'll be dealing with a massive increase in client load. So you will need more coaches to be able to do all the work for you so that you don't have to do all the manual day-to-day stuff. You will also be busy dealing with inbound leads from DMs and from ads. So it's going to be hard for one person to keep up anymore. You will need 2 people. So we will hire a second VA. And finally, you'll have so many damn sales calls in your calendar that you'll start to hate them. So we'll hire a phone closer to do them for you. If this makes sense, just drop a fire emoji in the chat. Cool. Now, why do most people get stuck at this level? Why do most people get stuck at the 50K level? 50K, they want to scale to 100. Because at 50K, you don't know what problems you need to solve. When you guys are at 50,000, it's fucking more important now. It's important at every level of business, but You need to know what the most important problem in your business is to solve at any point in time. You need to identify what the most important problem is to solve. 99% of business owners do not know their numbers in their business. And so they have no idea what problem they need to solve. And because you don't know your numbers, like how many followers you're getting per week, how many calls you're booking, what your show rate is, what your close rate is, how much cash you collected, what your ROAS is, what your profit is, what your expenses are, how much you're spending on ads, you don't know what problem you need to solve. Or they do know their numbers and they still have no idea what's a problem to solve. And they're just staring at their numbers arbitrarily and making educated guesses on what they need to do next. At this level, you need to be incredibly meticulous in what your next moves are, because one small shift in your business can lead to a 10 to 20 to 30% increase in the amount of cash you collect. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're tracking all of your numbers. Your show rate is 50%, your closing rate is 50%, and you're booking, 10 calls a week. Okay. So if your show rate is 50%, you're booking 10 calls a week, which is 40 calls a month. If you get that show rate to 65% and you're booking 10 calls a week, that's an extra 6 calls per month. If your closing rate's 50%, that's an extra 3 clients per month. You're selling a $3,000 package, that's an extra $10,000 a month by getting your close rate up by 15%. And those are like the decisions that you need to make across your business. It's being able to look at your numbers and identify what is the number one problem that I need to solve. And you focus all of your energy on solving that problem. And when you do that effectively and you know not only what problem you need to solve, but what the most important problem is, everybody write this in the chat. Business is about knowing what problem to solve and knowing what order to solve those problems in. Business is about knowing what problem to solve and what order to solve those problems in. You can solve the right problem in the wrong order, you still won't grow. But you solve the right problem in the right order, all of a sudden, boom, you scale. Cool. Business is about knowing what problems to solve and what order to solve those problems in. Remember that. That's important. About knowing what problem to solve and what order to solve those problems in. If you are in business, you are a problem solver, period. If you can solve the right problem at the right time, you will scale. It is that simple. Cool. When you do this right, you get results like this.
Yo, what's going on? Just want to let you know that we just hit our first 100K month, and this is a huge stepping stone for us and the overall impact that we want to create in this industry. And we understand that it's moments like these and it's stepping stones like these where you can take a look back and reflect and think about how far you've really come, how much you've grown, all the lessons that you've learned, all the crazy challenges that have gotten us here today. And it's something that's celebrated quickly, and we move forward. We understand it's just one stepping stone in our mission, and we understand that the impact that we want to serve is so much greater than something like this. But it's an amazing milestone. Couldn't have been here without you. We appreciate your consistent direction, your consistent guidance, your consistent availability, and that consistent push and belief in us moving forward. So thank you so much, and cheers to the next level.
Let's go. Chad Morgan. All right. Now, this is going to be overwhelming for a lot of you guys. I'm going to show you anyways. I'm going to show you anyways, because I did promise the 10K to 100K problem. So it's my job to show you everything. Okay. You guys are on the 10K to 100K masterclass, but don't worry. There's one level of it at a time. But I want to peel back the curtains. I want to show you guys what it takes to get to 100K. So this is it. $100,000 a month. You've got 10 to 12 employees. Your business is doing 60% margins, which means you're taking home $60,000 a month. And you, at this level, you have basically unlimited free time. The reason this works is because you have leaders of departments. Your job basically gets easier the more money that you make. And so you have an executive assistant, and my executive assistant is on it. Everybody say hi, Anna. Everybody say hi, Anna. My executive assistant is on this coaching call right now. So you've got an executive assistant that helps you out with everything that you need on a day-to-day basis. This person basically becomes your force field. Nothing gets to you without going through your assistant. So everything that comes my way doesn't get to me, gets to my executive assistant. And if my executive assistant either solves the problem herself or finds the person that does solve the problem, and if it absolutely does need me in one of 100 circumstances, then I solve the problem. Unlimited free time. Then you've got your head coach, your head closer, and your head VA. Your responsibility is to lead these people. Your head coach, your head closer, and your head VA. Your responsibility is to train them to do their jobs effectively. Your responsibility at this level is to make sure that your head of departments are doing their job effectively. The way that we do this is we look at the numbers. If you've got a head coach, your retention number should be 90% or higher. And so if your retention numbers dip below 90%, then you have a conversation with that coach. And you're like, okay, what's going on with retention? Walk me through the systems. What are we currently working on? What do we need to focus on? What do we need to improve? What do we need to shift? What do we need to change? And then that person goes and executes on what you said on that meeting. The head closer, same thing. Your closing rate on your sales calls should be 35% or higher. If they're lower than 35%, you're meeting with your head closer. You're like, what's going on? Talk to me about what's going on with the closing. Your head closer then goes and solves that problem. Your head closer does the role plays. Your head closer looks at sales calls. Your head closer reviews everything. Your head closer handles all of the grunt work. Same thing with your head VA. You've got somebody that's in charge of your VAs And that person is responsible for making sure that you're booking 10 to 20 sales calls a week. If you dip below that number, then you're meeting with your head VA. You're like, okay, what do you need from me? How are the ads performing? Do I need to change anything up? And also, like, what do you need to do with the team this week to make sure that we get to 10 to 20 book calls per week? At this level, this is like, even though it looks overwhelming, this is by far where you actually achieve freedom when you're at $100,000 a month and you have this system in place, because everything is handled by somebody else. And to me, that is the ultimate goal, is I want to be able to have a business that makes a massive impact on this planet that does not require me to be in the business 16 hours a day, because I lived that life for 4+ years and I burned out over and over and over and over again. And every time I burned out, everyone would suffer. My clients would suffer. I would suffer. My relationships would suffer. I had to get my time back. I had to buy back my time, but I didn't want to buy back my time at the expense of a shitty product to my clients or a shitty delivery to my potential clients. I wanted to buy back my time in a way that actually gave more value to my audience, gave more value to the people that were in my community. That is the goal. Not only to buy back your time, but to be able to sustain and even grow the level of our coaching business internally and externally. Cool. Your only job at this level is knowing the numbers and leading the team based on the numbers. That's it. Your executive assistant handles all the day-to-day communication and you run the leadership meetings. That is your job. At this level, your job is to make sure that people that are in places in your business are doing their jobs effectively. And if you do that and you just lead your leaders will run the business for you. 20 of our students are doing this right now. 20. And there's a lot of people that are climbing towards it. 100K a month. At this level, you focus on what actually matters in your coaching business: marketing and coaching. Marketing and coaching, it does not matter what level you are at. These are the two things that you must become an absolute master at: marketing and coaching. If you master marketing and you master like getting in front of new people, knowing how to get in front of new eyeballs, knowing how to do different ad creatives, knowing how to do different stuff, and you master coaching, you become a good communicator, you create great presentations, you lead your people effectively, you know how to lead not only your team, but also the people that are in your container as clients, and you know how to like motivate them and inspire them to be better. Those are the things you must become a master at: coaching your team, coaching your clients in a group setting, and make sure you always have leads come through the front door. If you do that, your business is going to blow up, explode. Lots of numbers, like Patty, who just said 100K.
What's going on, family? My name is Patty Lifts, and I want to shout out PT Domination. They've been helping me for the last year, and before I was working with them, I was just posting on social media, kind of trying to be like an influencer. But once I actually joined their program, they've helped me build systems where I was able to collect $115,000 in one single month. They've helped me improve my client fulfillment, where I'm able to provide a better service, impact more people. They've helped me create systems to allow me to scale to bigger numbers. And they have helped me step into my power and become a bigger leader so I could be able to coach my team and build the Team Lifts family. So I want to give a big shout out to the PT Domination family, and I highly recommend joining their program if you're on the edge, because they absolutely changed my life and they've been helping change the lives of all my Team Lifts athletes. So thank you so much.
He actually didn't just hit 100K. He hit 100K a long time ago. He's sitting about 200 to 300 every single month now. Okay. Unlimited leads. Who here wants unlimited leads? That's secret number 3. We need to get unlimited leads. Most coaches fail miserably about this because they try to turn on the taps and get unlimited leads with ads before they have a proper team in place. Listen, unless you have coverage from your virtual assistants in your account at least 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, you will burn through money on ads faster than you can even blink. Why? Because of speed delete. Speed delete. Okay. So 2 things. Number 1, before I go into the next part, speed delete basically means this. At every level, you guys need to be implementing this. It doesn't matter if you're at 5K a month, 10K a month, 20K a month, doesn't matter. When a lead messages you, your goal is to reply to them within 15 minutes. If you reply to them within 15 minutes, the chances of you converting them goes up significantly by like 60 to 70%. Now, I understand that at the level that you guys are currently at, doing everything in your business, that's pretty fucking hard, especially if you're doing everything yourself. However, that concept of speed to lead is what will scale you. And so if you start running a ton of ads and you start spending $100, $200, $300 a day on ads, you're getting all these leads come in and you don't message them back for 12, 24, 36 hours, the chances of you converting them goes down significantly. So most coaches fail at getting unlimited leads because when they spend money on ads, they don't understand that unless they have full coverage in their account, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, it doesn't make sense to turn up the ad spend. Cool. Now, once we have an ad that has 3 to 4x ROAS, we spend more money. Okay. So 3 to 4, what ROAS basically means is when you spend $1, you get $4 back. I'll give you guys an example. Let's say you're running a boosted follower ad. Okay. So you're boosting a post. It's getting you $1 per follower. Okay. So it takes you 100 conversations to book 1 sales call. Okay. So you guys with me so far? If you're with me, say yes. So 100 conversations to book 1 sales call. It takes you 3 sales calls to get 2 to show up. Okay. So you got to spend $300 to get two sales calls to show up. You're closing at, let's say, 50%. So out of the two sales calls that show up, you close one of them. You close them for a $1,000 package. Are you guys with me so far? Does this make sense? So you spent $300 to book three sales calls. Two of them showed up. You closed one of them for $1,000. So you spent 300, you made back 1,000. You guys with me so far? If that's the case, we spend more money on the ad because that's a winning ROAS. That's how we scale. We put in 300, we got back 1,000. We keep doing that. Let's put in 600. Let's get back 2,000. Let's put in 1,000. Let's get back 4,000. Does that make sense? Once we find a winning ad, then we scale it. And so some of the best clients that I have inside of the $1 Million Mastermind are spending $30,000 a month on ads because they've got a 4x ROAS. So they spend 30K, they make back 120. Does that make sense? Now, obviously at a smaller scale, you shouldn't start there. At a smaller scale, it's like $20 to $30 a day on ads. Like that's the starting point. But as soon as we have a banger, that's when we dial up the ad spend. One of our clients, Hallie, I have her spending $200 a day right now. Over the course of a month, it's like $6,000 a month. But she has a 5x ROAS. So for every dollar that she spends, she makes $5 back. So she spends $200 a day, she makes $1,000 a day from the ad. That's pretty cool. That's unlimited leads because that means that the sale is paying for the ads, which means that not only do you get to spend more money on ads, but you're also growing your following, you're increasing your client base, you're getting more known, you're getting seen more on Instagram. All of these are winning things. This gives you an unlimited ad spend budget because you know that for every dollar you spend, you make $4 back. You'll never run out of leads again. This is the best fucking thing in the entire world. I love this, right? So here's an example of Patrick's, direct to DM ad. So you've got a direct to DM ad that looks like this. And he booked 33 sales calls, 7 sales, $19.5 thousand contracted, locked the fuck in. 33 book calls from one ad. Bam. Just like that. Once you have a dialed in ad and you know what works, you just spend more money on that ad. Patrick's spending $200 to $300 a day on this ad. Does this make sense? Say yes in the chat box if this makes sense. Now, the biggest reason that coaches fail at scaling to these levels is they don't track their numbers, right? You track, but you don't know how to fix it. Maybe you track your numbers, but you have no idea how to solve the fucking problem. You don't know how to run effective ads. You've tried running advertising before and it hasn't worked out, so you have no idea what to do. You aren't good at hiring and training and leading and doing SOPs and all that shit. You don't know how to lead people. You know how to coach people in your business, but you don't know how to actually lead people. Basically, you're a great online coach, which is why you got to $10,000 a month, but you lack the understanding of the skill sets that are actually going to get you to 100K. These are the results of this system, okay? So these are some of my clients from last year. Abraham made $2.1 million. Hallie made $560K in 2024. Dawson made $550,000 net. Aaron Avery, $325,000 for the year. Trent, $1.2 million. Obviously, Trent's a fucking unicorn, but we still love Trent. Like these are the results of this system. Everything we just went over on today's coaching call is exactly how these students are making $100,000 plus per month. So today we covered the freedom formula, the $100,000 a month business model, and unlimited leads. Now, let's be honest. You didn't become an online fitness coach. You could work 12 hours a day, live in your DMs, and burn yourself out to maintain your income. You became an online fitness coach because you wanted freedom, right? To be able to build a business that made an impact, change people's lives, and paid so well that you never have to check your bank balance again. That to me is my definition of freedom, to be able to do what I want, when I want, with who I want, for however long I want, no matter the cost. That's my definition of freedom. But somewhere along the way, when we're at $10,000 to $20,000 a month, we became our own employee. You got stuck in the trenches, in the day-to-day stuff. You hit an income ceiling. And that's exactly why we created the $1 Million Mastermind. If it's all right with you, I'd love to share with you more information about the coaching program that's helped over 20 coaches make $100,000 a month. I like to give you the sauce, give you the secrets, let you fucking know. Cool. This is the $1 Million Mastermind, all right? Where you go from being the hardest worker in the business to the CEO of your business. And yes, I do see CEO of your business because you need to learn how to lead people. Where you learn how to buy back your time, scale your business without extra work, and impact the world on a bigger level because you're able to reach more people. That to me is cool. Not only am I scaling the business and making more money, but I'm able to reach more people because I'm able to buy back my time. Now, here's what you're going to get. First, you're going to get a plug and play appointment setter system. We're going to teach you guys how to find, hire, train, and integrate virtual assistants into your coaching business so you no longer have to live in your DMs. Instead of hiring a VA and hoping they figure it out, we're going to give you guys SOPs around hiring, training, DM audits, leadership skills, so that you can start booking 5 to 10 calls a week from your DMs. Or if you don't want to do the hiring itself, we actually have a connection for you that will go out, find, hire, train, and place somebody in your business for you. Second, phone closers and sell by chat. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like getting on my own sales calls anymore. I do if I have to, but I don't like doing it. Our goal is to completely scale you out of the sales process within 6 months. For all qualified prospects, we'll teach you how to hire, find, train, and integrate phone closers inside of your coaching business so you can make more money without taking sales calls. And we've got plugs for both. We've got plugs for male closers, plugs for female closers. We got the whole fucking thing. We will also show you how to introduce your phone closers to your prospects in a way that they're excited about. Because a lot of people don't like scaling themselves out of the sales process because they're like, well, if I scale myself out of the sales process, then who's actually like how are my prospects going to be excited about this? We will show you how to introduce your sales closers in a way that prospects are actually excited about. And finally, we all get financially unqualified leads. Am I right? Say yes if I'm right. With those financially unqualified leads, instead of just leaving money on the table and not taking a sales call, we're going to teach you guys how to sell by chat them so you don't waste your closer's time, but you also still get the sales opportunity, because some of the people that say they don't have the money actually do have the money. They might not want to get on a call, or they might have answered something weird in your type. Cool. Third thing, assistant coaches and transformation coaches. Upon joining, you'll get a custom assessment to determine the business model that will be the best fit for you. There's basically 3 different business models that we recommend. There's transformation specialists, assistant coaches, or shadow coaches. Out of those 3 business models, we'll determine which one is the best fit for you. Once we determine which one's the best fit for you, based on your core values and what you want to do with your business, then we will teach you how to hire, find, and train these people. Once it's settled, we'll teach you how to find, interview, onboard, and lead your coaches. By the end of this coaching program, your workload will be cut down by 100% of the work to 20% of the work. And your clients are going to fucking love you for it, because they'll get faster response times, more touch point, and a higher quality of service, because you have people that are just dedicated to make sure that they get great results. And as a result of removing you as a bottleneck, we will be able to scale without limitation. The biggest reason that a lot of people stay stuck at this level is because they're scaling, but as soon as they scale a little bit, they get more clients. And because they get more clients, they're like, oh, fuck, I got more clients now. And it's painful. So most people avoid it. So we're just going to remove that bottleneck completely. We'll get somebody else to do the work for you. Fourth, unlimited leads. We're going to give you guys the exact frameworks for direct to DM ads, as well as boosted posts that are allowing Claytons like Clayton Snyder to spend $6,000 on ads and make $70,000 back. We've got proven frameworks and blueprints that you can plug and play immediately to start generating more traffic and revenue for your business. No more guessing games with your money. You're going to know exactly how to spend money on ads, what type of ads to run, what type of ads are working best for our mastermind students, and you're going to get access to that inside of the container. Fifth, a focus on high quality content. If you only rely on paid ads, you're going to be at the mercy of paying for traffic. To solve this problem, we're going to teach you the same strategies that Cole and myself have used to generate over 3 million followers across multiple social media accounts. We've used a strategy to help clients like Trent, who started at 7,000 followers, generate 1.1 million followers in the last 3 years. So we're going to make sure that we stay focused on high quality content, because at the end of the day, if your content sucks, your ads are only going to be a band-aid for your content suck. Cool. All of these systems combined will allow you to buy back your time, scale your business to 100K a month with 60 to 70% profit margins, and have unlimited leads, so you never have to worry about where your next client is coming from. And that is what we do inside of our container. And this is Heather.
Hey guys, my name is Heather Wolk. I'm coming on here real quick just to shout out PT Dom, specifically the MDM, and of course Brian, because I just actually hit the biggest goal I've had in my business since starting it a year and a half ago. And I finally did it, and it was literally fucking crazy. I can finally say that I have hit over $100,000 per month. Last month in November was actually my record month. I hit $106.8 thousand for the entire month of November in just literally 30 fucking days. And I can think about it right now. I literally am like, oh my God, holy shit. I don't even think I processed it. But I couldn't do without the MDM, couldn't do without Brian's guidance. So just coming on here really quick to share the biggest win likely of my fucking life. And just shout out the fucking awesome team that he's got going on. He just couldn't do it without Brian, couldn't do it without PT Dom and the MDM for believing me, inspiring me, motivating me, and honestly, more than anything, just guiding me through this fucking process. So literally just so grateful. Finally hit $106.8 thousand in one single fucking month. Let's fucking go.
Let's go. I like that. Cool. All right. So the coaching, you guys are going to get 60 days of one-on-one support with the coaches making $100,000 a month in their own business. AKA Janelle Wheel is going to be your one-on-one coach for the first 60 days. The custom support is going to give you guys the one-on-one feedback that you need to solve your problem in the right order so that we can scale. Right? A bigger thing that a lot of people used to struggle with when they joined was overwhelm. And so we solved that problem by offering 60 days of one-on-one support. The trainings, each week there are 4 live coaching calls, and including 2 where you get direct access to me to mentor the program, to come and ask me any questions. On these coaching calls, we'll constructively and predictably scale your business one step at a time. And so you're in the program for 12 months. So like every single month, we're basically working on a different problem. So you show up with questions. Sometimes you think the problem is over here. I actually think it's over here. So we solve whatever problem we need to solve in order to remove the constraint of your business so that we can scale. And the support, all questions are answered within 24 hours, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. We also have a group chat full of coaches that are making $25,000 to $500,000 per month. So any questions that you have that you need immediate answers to will be supported by the coaches and the other members of the Millionaire Mastermind container. And finally, any business partners that are involved with your team. So let's say you're involved with like a business partner. They also are going to get access to the container for any of the coaching that they need. And that's also including your team. So let's say you hire a closer and you want to train them how to close better. They get access to sales mastery. If you have a virtual assistant that needs training, we have access to our VA's training. You got a sales rep that needs coaching, you'll be able to give them access to our sales course. Your business becomes our top priority. And obviously we have a guarantee. Now, there's a risk in everything. There's a risk in starting your business. There's a risk in hiring team members. And there's definitely a risk in hiring a mentor. So my job is to remove as much of the risk as possible. So if you do join the Million Dollar Mastermind, you complete the program, follow the modules and the coach's advice, and you do not hit a record-breaking month as a result of our coaching, we will send you a full refund. There is no questions asked, and it is, very, very simple. So what are the next steps? You do have to apply. Unfortunately, we do not accept everyone. And unless you are at the income qualification of at least $10,000 a month and fit the criteria of the type of client that we're looking for, we cannot help you. So if you're interested, I've got a little type form for you guys that you guys can fill out. I'm going to send it in the chat box. So go ahead and fill out the type form if you are interested. Just being transparent, application doesn't guarantee entry. We don't work with everyone, and that's not being rude, me being rude. It's just like we have a certain criteria for people that we work for inside of the Millionaire Mastermind. So if you're interested, you have to apply. So take a couple minutes to go ahead and fill out that type form and then come back to the chat and say done once you're all done. Then we can have a chat. And if you do qualify, we will contact you within the next 24 hours and let you know. And if you don't qualify, we will contact you soon and let you know why we haven't decided to move forward with your application. So go ahead, fill out that type form, and then come back to the chat and say done once you are all done. All right, y'all. That's it. That's all. I hope you guys have the best day of your entire lives. Thank you for spending some time with me. I hope you got some value that you can take away and implement. If you did apply, I will be looking through your applications and I'll be reaching out to you. Hope you guys have the best day of your entire lives, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, and you want to learn more about how me and my team can help you scale your online fitness business to $10,000 a month, DM me 10K on Instagram at @TheRealBrianMark for more information, and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help you grow an online coaching business.